The silver chains sear into my wrists like molten fire. I don't scream anymore. There's no point. The entire Blood Moon pack circles the execution platform, 500 wolves packed into the clearing, their eyes glittering with bloodlust in the dawn light. They want to see me die. I've known most of these people my entire life. I served them, cleaned their houses, scrubbed their floors. Now they're here to watch my execution like it's entertainment. Alpha Damien Blackwood stands 3 feet away, the ceremonial blade catching the first rays of sunlight. He's beautiful in that cold, sharp way that alphas are. Dark hair, ice blue eyes, a jaw that looks carved from stone. Yesterday, those eyes had looked at me with such disgust when the mate bond snapped into place between us during the lunar ceremony. Yesterday, he'd called me worthless. Today, he's going to kill me himself. Arya Thorne, his voice rings out across the clearing and the crowd falls silent. You stand accused of being wolfless, a defect and a stain upon our pack's bloodline. Worse, you've used dark magic to force a mate bond upon your alpha. Dark magic. The accusation is ridiculous. I can barely light a candle with matches, let alone perform spells. But Celine Frost, Damien's betrothed, had smiled so sweetly when she'd whispered those lies to the council. Her father, Beta Marcus, had backed her every word. Have you any last words? Damien asks, and there's something in his voice, a tremor so faint I almost miss it. I lift my chin. My whole body shakes, but I won't die cowering. I'm innocent. Liar! Celine's voice cuts through the air. She stands at the front of the crowd, her perfect blonde hair catching the light, her blue eyes filled with poisonous satisfaction. You tried to steal my mate with your witchcraft. The crowd murmurs agreement. No one will defend me. I'm the orphan Omega who's never shifted, the girl who's been nothing but a servant since she could walk. The pack has been waiting for an excuse to eliminate me for years. Damien raises the blade higher. The silver gleams. This is it. This is how I die. At 22, murdered by my own mate, my own pack. All because I was born different. The blade begins its descent. Something inside me snaps. Not my will to live. That's been burning since the moment they chained me. No, something deeper breaks free, like a dam shattering after holding back an ocean for too long. Heat floods my veins, turning the silver's burn into nothing. My vision goes white. Then power explodes from my body. The blast of light throws Damien backward. The chains around my wrists disintegrate. My bones crack and reform. But there's no pain, only a fierce, wild joy as my body finally becomes what it was always meant to be. I'm shifting. The transformation happens fast, faster than any shift I've ever witnessed. White fur erupts across my skin, thick and pure as fresh snow. My hands become paws, my spine curves, my face elongates. When the light finally fades and I can see again, I'm standing on 4 legs. I'm massive. Bigger than any wolf I've ever seen. Bigger even than Damien in his alpha form. My fur ripples like liquid moonlight, silver-tipped and glowing faintly in the dawn. I can feel the power thrumming through every muscle, ancient and absolute. The clearing has gone completely silent. Then someone screams, "White wolf!" The cry comes from an elder at the edge of the crowd. Impossible! They're extinct! The pack erupts into chaos. Wolves scatter, some shifting in their panic, others frozen in shock. I catch fragments of their terrified whispers. Royal bloodline, original alphas, the old magic. Damien is still on the ground where the blast threw him, staring up at me with something between awe and horror. Blood trickles from his lip. The rejection bond between us, that painful, jagged thing he'd created yesterday, suddenly pulls taut, then snaps with an audible crack that only we can hear. He'd rejected someone he thought was worthless. He'd tried to execute his true mate, and now he knows exactly what I am. Celine shoves through the crowd, her face twisted with rage. Kill it! Kill the abomination! But no one moves toward me. They're too afraid. A voice speaks in my mind, my wolf's voice, clear as a bell. Run. They'll cage us or kill us. Trust no one. She's right. The shock won't last long. Already I can see the pack warriors forming ranks, preparing to surround the platform. Beta Marcus is barking orders, organizing the hunt. I bare my teeth in a snarl that sends the nearest wolves stumbling backward. The silver chains that should have been unbreakable lie in pieces at my paws. I crush them beneath one massive foot, grinding the metal into the wooden platform. Damien finds his voice. Arya, wait! I don't wait. I don't want to hear his excuses or his shock or whatever political calculation is already forming behind those ice-blue eyes. Yesterday, he called me an embarrassment. Today, he tried to murder me. I leap. The platform is 20 feet high, but I clear it easily, sailing over the heads of the front row. Wolves scatter in every direction as I hit the ground running. Behind me, Damien roars orders to give chase, but I'm already at the tree line. The forbidden forest swallows me whole. My wolf knows where to go, even though I've never run these paths before. She weaves between the ancient trees with absolute certainty, her paws barely making a sound on the forest floor. Behind us, I can hear the pack giving chase, dozens of wolves crashing through the undergrowth, their howls echoing through the dawn. But they're slow compared to what I've become. My wolf speaks again as we run. They'll hunt us to the ends of the earth. The white wolves weren't just royalty. They were gods among wolves. That's why they were all killed. All except me, I say, though the words come out as a growl in this form. All except you, she agrees. And they'll never stop trying to finish what they started centuries ago. A different howl cuts through the morning air, Damien's alpha call, commanding the pack to fall back. The pursuit stops almost immediately, the warriors well trained enough to obey without question. But I keep running. I run until the howls fade completely, until the sun climbs higher and the forest grows so thick that barely any light penetrates the canopy. I run until my wolf finally slows, her sides heaving, and we collapse in a small clearing beside a stream. I shift back to human form, and for the first time in my life, the transformation feels natural, easy, like breathing. I'm naked, covered in dirt and scratches, but alive, and I'm not wolfless. I never was. I dip my hands in the stream, watching my reflection in the water. My eyes are different now. They glow with a faint silver light, just like my wolf's. Whatever was dormant inside me has awakened, and there's no hiding it anymore. The pack will come for me. Damien will come for me. Not out of love, but because a white wolf is too valuable to let escape. I'm a living legend, a piece of history that everyone thought was extinct. And Celine? She'll want me dead more than ever. I cup water in my hands and drink deeply, letting the cold liquid clear my head. My wolf stirs restlessly inside me, still wary. What do we do now? I ask her. We survive, she answers. We find out who we really are, why we were hidden, who hid us. She's right. Someone knew what I was and kept me in that pack, powerless and abused for 22 years. Someone wanted me weak, wanted me dead. I need to know why. Behind me, a twig snaps. I spin around, already half-shifted, claws extending from my fingertips. But the forest is empty, just shadows and trees and the morning wind. Then I smell it, a scent that doesn't belong to the Blood Moon pack. Another wolf, one I don't recognize. They're close, watching me. My wolf's hackles rise. We're not alone. Show yourself, I call out, my voice steady despite the fear crawling up my spine. Silence. Then from the shadows, a low chuckle. Male, amused, dangerous. Well, a voice drawls. The lost princess finally wakes up. Chapter 2. I don't wait to see who owns that voice. My instincts scream danger, and I bolt deeper into the forest, my bare feet flying over roots and rocks. Behind me, I hear laughter, Not the sound of someone giving chase, but of someone who knows they don't need to. That terrifies me more than pursuit would. I run for hours, pushing my exhausted body until my lungs burn and my legs tremble. When I finally stop, the sun is high overhead, and I'm so deep in the forbidden forest that the trees have grown twisted and ancient, their branches blocking out most of the light. My wolf is quiet now, conserving energy. We both know we can't keep this up forever. I need food, water, shelter, a plan. Instead, I have nothing but the clothes I manifested when I shifted back, a thin dress that's now torn and filthy, and the knowledge that everyone I've ever known wants me dead. The next 3 days blur together into a nightmare of survival. I hunt when I can. My wolf teaching me to track rabbits and catch fish with my bare hands. I drink from streams and sleep in hollow trees, always moving, always listening for the sounds of pursuit. And they do pursue me. Damien's warriors are relentless, their howls echoing through the forest at dawn and dusk. Twice I have to fight, once against a pair of scouts who corner me near a waterfall, and once against a full patrol of 5 warriors. I win both times, but each fight leaves me weaker, more injured. By the 3rd day, I'm running on nothing but willpower and fear. My dress is shredded, my body covered in cuts and bruises that heal slower than they should. I haven't eaten in 2 days. My wolf is exhausted, barely able to maintain our connection. I stumble to a river as the sun sets, my vision swimming. The water looks cool and inviting, and I collapse at its edge, too tired to even shift back to my wolf form for protection. Maybe this is where it ends. Not on an execution platform, but here in the wilderness, alone and forgotten. I close my eyes, letting the sound of the river lull me toward unconsciousness. That's when I feel it, a presence, powerful and undeniable, watching from the trees. I try to move, to defend myself, but my body won't cooperate. Footsteps approach, slow and deliberate. I force my eyes open and see boots, expensive leather, well worn. My gaze travels up to find a man standing over me. He's tall, broad-shouldered, with dark hair that falls to his collar and eyes like molten gold. There's a scar running from his left eyebrow to his cheekbone, giving him a dangerous edge. He looks about 28, maybe 30, and he's watching me with an expression I can't read, part curiosity, part calculation. "You're harder to track than I expected," he says, crouching down to my level. His voice is the same one from 3 days ago, smooth and rich with amusement. "Most wolves leave a trail a child could follow. You, though, you move like a ghost." I try to speak, but my throat is too dry. All that comes out is a rasp. He pulls a canteen from his belt and holds it to my lips. "Drink, slowly." I should be suspicious, but I'm too desperate. The water is cool and clean, and I gulp it down until he pulls it away. "Easy," he warns. "You'll make yourself sick." "Who?" I manage to croak out. "Kyle Steele," he says, sitting back on his heels. His golden eyes study me with unsettling intensity. Also known as the Rogue King, though I've never been fond of the title. Too pretentious. He tilts his head. "And you're Arya Thorn, the lost white wolf, the one everyone's hunting." Fear spikes through me, giving me enough adrenaline to try to scramble backward. I don't get far before my body gives out again. Kyle doesn't move to stop me. "Relax. If I wanted you dead, I wouldn't have spent 3 days tracking you just to have a conversation. What do you want?" My voice is steadier now, though barely. "To help you." He says it so simply, like it's obvious. "You're dying, Arya. Those wounds aren't healing properly because you're malnourished and exhausted. You'll be dead by morning if you stay out here alone. And if I go with you, I'll be your prisoner instead." He laughs, a genuine sound that transforms his harsh features. "I don't keep prisoners. Bad for morale." He stands, offering me his hand. "Come to my territory, eat, rest, heal, then decide if you want to stay or leave." I stare at his hand like it's a trap. "Why would you help me?" His expression turns serious. Because I know what you are. My grandmother told me stories before she died. Stories about the Lunar Queens, the white wolves who ruled before the Alpha Council corrupted everything. She said one day, the bloodline would return. He meets my eyes. I didn't believe her, until now. My wolf stirs weakly in my mind. He's telling the truth. I can feel it. That doesn't mean he's safe, though. Still, what choice do I have? Die here alone, or take a chance on the rogue king? I place my hand in his. His grip is warm and strong, and he lifts me to my feet easily. When I sway, he catches me, sweeping me up into his arms like I weigh nothing. I can walk, I protest, though we both know it's a lie. Sure you can. He starts moving through the forest with confident strides. Save your strength. It's a 2-hour walk to my territory. I want to argue, but exhaustion wins. My head drops against his chest, and I catch his scent. Pine and smoke and something wild. It's not unpleasant. My eyes drift closed. Stay with me, Arya. Kyle's voice rumbles through his chest. We're almost there. I force my eyes open and see lights ahead. Campfires dotting the forest like fallen stars. As we get closer, I make out structures built into the trees and carved into the rock faces. Dozens of wolves move through the settlement, their voices creating a low hum of conversation. This isn't what I expected. The stories about rogues paint them as savage and disorganized, living like animals. But this place has order, structure, community. Wolves stop what they're doing to stare as Kyle carries me through the center of the settlement. I hear whispered words. White wolf, Lunar Queen, impossible. Their expressions range from awe to suspicion to outright hostility. Kyle ignores them all, heading for a large cabin built against a cliff face. He kicks the door open and carries me inside, laying me on a bed that's surprisingly comfortable. Maya, he calls out. A woman appears in the doorway, maybe 40, with silver-streaked dark hair and kind eyes. She takes one look at me and clicks her tongue. You brought home a half-dead wolf? Again? She's not just any wolf. Kyle steps back, letting Maya approach. I know what she is. Maya's hands begin glowing with soft amber light as she hovers them over my body. I can see her aura. Lunar Queen bloodline. She glances at Kyle. This is going to complicate things. When have I ever avoided complications? He crosses his arms, watching as Maya works. Can you heal her? Most of it, but she needs rest, food and time. Some of these wounds have silver poisoning. Maya's glowing hands press against the worst of my injuries, and I gasp as warmth floods through me. The pain begins to recede. There. That should stabilize her. Kyle nods. Thank you. Maya gives him a pointed look. Don't let her train for at least 3 days. I mean it, Kale. I won't. She leaves and suddenly I'm alone with the rogue king in his cabin. He pulls up a chair beside the bed, settling into it like he plans to stay a while. You should rest, he says. You should explain what you want from me. I manage to prop myself up on my elbows, meeting his golden gaze. You didn't help me out of kindness? A smile tugs at his lips. Smart. I like that. He leans forward, elbows on his knees. Here's the truth, Arya. I was born an alpha heir. The Steel Pack was one of the strongest in the Northern Territories. When I was 22, my uncle framed me for murdering my father. He wanted the alpha position for himself. I see the pain flicker across his face before he masks it. The Pack Council didn't even investigate, he continues. They took his word, stripped my title and exiled me. Said I was too dangerous to live among civilized wolves. His jaw tightens. So I came here, to the Forbidden Forest, where all the other outcasts hide. Wolves who were exiled for being too weak, too different, too rebellious. Wolves the Packs threw away. And you built an army, I say quietly. I built a family, he corrects. 300 strong now. Rogues, omegas, disabled wolves, half-breeds, anyone who was rejected by the pack system. His golden eyes burn with intensity. The Alpha Council is corrupt, Arya. They hoard power, abuse those beneath them, and execute anyone who threatens their control. You know this. You lived it. I can't argue with that. What does this have to do with me? I ask. Everything. He stands, pacing the small cabin. For years I've been trying to unite the rogues, to build something strong enough to challenge the council. But they see me as just another outcast. Just another rogue who wants revenge. He stops, turning to face me. But you? You're a white wolf. The Lunar Queen bloodline. Wolves are raised on stories about your ancestors, how they were wise and just, how they protected the weak. If you stood with us, every rogue on the continent would follow. My heart pounds. You want me to lead a revolution. I want you to help me fix what's broken. He moves closer. I'll teach you to fight, to control your wolf, to access the full extent of your abilities. I'll help you discover who you really are and why your bloodline was hidden. In return, you help me show the world that there's another way, that wolves don't have to live under the council's tyranny. It's a pretty speech, but my wolf's warning from 3 days ago echoes in my mind. Trust no one. And if I refuse, I ask, then you rest here until you're healed, and I'll help you disappear somewhere safe. He says it so sincerely that I almost believe him. I won't force you, Arya. I've had enough of alphas who think they can control others. I study him, trying to find the lie, the manipulation, but all I see is someone who's been hurt by the same system that tried to kill me. I need time to think, I say finally. Fair enough? He moves toward the door. Food will be brought to you, sleep. We'll talk more when you're stronger. He's almost out the door when I call out, Kyle? He pauses, glancing back. Why did you really spend 3 days tracking me? You could have just let me die. His expression softens slightly. Because my grandmother made me promise something before she died. She said if I ever found a white wolf, I had to protect them. Even if they didn't want protection. Even if it cost me everything. He opens the door. I keep my promises. Then he's gone, leaving me alone with my thoughts. I sleep for 14 hours straight. When I wake, sunlight streams through the cabin window and there's a tray of food on the bedside table, fresh bread, cheese, dried meat and fruit. My stomach growls and I devour it all. Maya checks on me twice a day, healing my remaining wounds and dosing me with herbal teas that taste awful but make me feel stronger. By the 3rd day, I'm well enough to walk around the cabin, though she still won't let me leave. That's when I hear the commotion outside, shouting, crying, the sound of rapid footsteps. I open the cabin door despite Maya's orders and see a crowd gathered near the centre of the settlement. Wolves are pushing forward, their voices panicked. I catch fragments. Attacked by patrol, bleeding out, child. My feet move before my brain catches up. I push through the crowd and see a little girl, maybe 7 years old, lying on the ground. Blood pools beneath her, pouring from deep gashes across her stomach and chest. Her mother kneels beside her, sobbing, while Maya works frantically to stem the bleeding. It's too much damage, Maya says, her voice breaking. I can slow it, but I can't stop it. She needs a hospital, and we don't have time. Let me try. The words leave my mouth before I can think them through. Maya looks up, surprised. Arya, you're barely healed yourself. Please. I kneel beside the child, my hands hovering over her wounds. I don't know what I'm doing, but something inside me knows. My wolf rises, calm and certain, guiding my instincts. My hands begin to glow. Not amber like Maya's, but pure white, like moonlight made solid. I press my palms against the child's wounds, and power flows through me. It's nothing like Maya's warm, healing energy. This is cold and absolute, like winter moonlight burning away corruption. The wounds knit themselves back together, flesh mending, blood vessels reconnecting. The child gasps, her eyes flying open, and the bleeding stops. Complete silence falls over the crowd. I pull my hands back, staring at them in shock. The white glow fades slowly. The little girl sits up, touching her stomach. There's not even a scar. Her mother pulls her into a fierce embrace, sobbing with relief. Maya stares at me with wide eyes. That's impossible. That's Lunar Queen magic. Kale's voice cuts through the silence. He stands at the edge of the crowd, his expression unreadable. The ancient ones could heal anything, even death itself, according to the stories. The crowd erupts into whispers. Some wolves drop to their knees, others back away. Fear clear on their faces. I stand shakily, my legs weak from whatever I just did. I didn't know I could. You saved her. The child's mother approaches, tears streaming down her face. She takes my hand, pressing it to her forehead in a gesture of deep respect. Thank you. Thank you. Others begin to step forward, offering similar gestures, but not all of them. Some wolves watch me with suspicion, their postures tense. Kyle moves through the crowd to my side. That's enough for today. She needs rest. He places a hand on my shoulder, guiding me back toward the cabin. Once we're inside, he closes the door and leans against it. You've just made yourself either their savior or their greatest fear. Possibly both. I sink into a chair, my hands still trembling. I don't understand. What am I? Something the world forgot how to handle. He crosses the room, pouring water from a pitcher and handing me the cup. The white wolves weren't just royalty, Arya. They were living conduits for the moon goddess's power. They could heal, they could kill, they could command any wolf to obey. That's why they were hunted to extinction, because the alphas feared them. The water helps clear my head, so everyone will want me dead even more now. Some will, others will want to worship you. Neither option is particularly appealing. He pulls up a chair across from me. This is what I was talking about. You have power that could change everything. The question is, what will you do with it? Before I can answer, someone pounds on the door. Kyle, a male voice, urgent. We've got a problem. Kyle opens the door to reveal a young wolf, maybe 20, breathing hard. There's a messenger at the border, from the Alpha Council. What do they want? The young wolf swallows hard. They're issuing a continent-wide death warrant for Arya Thorne. They're calling her a demon wolf, a threat to every pack. He glances at me nervously. They're offering a reward of $1 million to whoever brings them her head. My blood runs cold. Who issued the warrant? Kyle asks, his voice deadly calm. The Blood Moon Pack's beta, Marcus Frost, but it's been approved by the full council. The messenger hands Kyle a rolled parchment. They're mobilizing every pack to hunt her down. Kyle reads the warrant, his jaw tightening with each line. Then he looks at me, and I see something dangerous flash in his golden eyes. It seems your former pack has made your decision for you, he says. You can't run from this, Arya. The entire continent will be hunting you. What are you saying? I'm saying you have two choices. He holds up the warrant. Hide for the rest of your life, always running, always afraid. Or, he lets the parchment fall. You stand and fight. You let me teach you to be the weapon they're afraid of. You help me burn down the system that wants you dead. My wolf rises in my mind, her voice clear and strong for the first time since my transformation. He's right. We can't hide from this. We fight or we die. I think of Damien raising that blade to kill me, of Celine spreading her lies, of the pack that watched me suffer my entire life and then tried to execute me for being different. I think of the little girl I just saved, and the hundreds of other outcasts in this settlement who've been thrown away by the packs. I stand, meeting Kyle's golden gaze. Teach me. A slow smile spreads across his face, not kind, but satisfied. Dangerous. Training starts tomorrow at dawn, and Arya, his smile sharpens. I hope you're ready, because once we start this, there's no going back. Good, I say, and I mean it. I don't want to go back. That night, I lie in bed and feel the phantom pull of a mate bond I thought was severed. Somewhere miles away, Damien's wolf is howling. I can feel his anguish bleeding through the connection like poison. Good. Let him suffer. Let him regret. And when I'm strong enough, let him fear what he tried to destroy. My wolf settles contentedly in my mind, and for the first time since my execution, I smile. Chapter 3. She arrives at dawn on the 7th day of my training, when I'm in the clearing with Kyle, my body aching and my wolf finally beginning to respond to my commands with precision instead of raw instinct. Again, Kale orders, circling me like a predator. You're still telegraphing your movements. An experienced fighter will see that opening and gut you before you can blink. I wipe sweat from my forehead, breathing hard. We've been at this for 3 hours already, and my muscles scream in protest. But I shift my stance, centering my weight the way he's taught me, and lunge. This time, I'm faster, smoother. My claws extend mid-strike, and I twist at the last second, using the momentum to sweep his legs out from under him. Kyle hits the ground with a grunt of surprise. For a moment, we both freeze. Then he laughs, that genuine sound that transforms his harsh features, and extends his hand. Better. Much better. I help pull him up, and we're standing close enough that I can see the gold flecks in his eyes, feel the heat radiating from his body. Something passes between us, a spark of awareness that makes my breath catch. He feels it too. I can tell by the way his pupils dilate, the way his hand lingers on mine, just a second too long. Then a voice cuts through the moment like a blade. The White Wolf and the Rogue King. How poetic. We spring apart, both of us instantly on guard. An old woman stands at the edge of the clearing, leaning heavily on a gnarled staff. She's ancient, her face a map of wrinkles, her hair white as fresh snow, but her eyes are sharp and knowing, glowing with an eerie silver light. "Who are you?" Kyle demands, moving to place himself between me and the stranger. "How did you get past the sentries?" The old woman smiles, revealing surprisingly perfect teeth. "Your sentries see what I allow them to see, Rogue King. As for who I am," she taps her staff against the ground, and the air shimmers with power. "I am Moira, last of the Moonseers, and I have travelled very far to deliver a message to the child of prophecy." My wolf stirs uneasily. "What prophecy?" Moira's silver eyes fix on me with an intensity that makes my skin prickle. "The blood moon prophecy, child, the one that has haunted the dreams of every seer for 200 years. She begins to chant, her voice taking on an otherworldly quality. When the White Wolf rises from chains of betrayal, born of ashes, crowned in moonlight's veil, she will stand at the crossroads of fate's design, to unite the packs or watch them burn in fire divine. Blood moon rising, choice made clear, queen of salvation or harbinger of fear. Silence falls over the clearing, even the birds have stopped singing. That's not ominous at all, I manage, though my voice shakes slightly. Moira moves closer, her staff clicking against the stones. "The prophecy speaks of you, Arya Thorn. You are the White Wolf risen from betrayal. The blood moon comes in 3 weeks, and on that night, your choice will reshape the world of wolves forever." "What choice?" Kyle asks sharply. "Speak plainly, old woman." "The choice between mercy and vengeance, between building and destroying." Moira reaches out, her gnarled fingers brushing my cheek. Her touch sends visions flooding through my mind. Flashes of fire, of wolves screaming, of a white wolf standing on a mountain of corpses with eyes like burning moonlight. "You carry the power to heal or to annihilate, child. The question is, which will you choose?" She pulls her hand back, and the visions fade, leaving me gasping. "The blood moon will amplify your abilities 100-fold, Moira continues. "You will be unstoppable. The packs are right to fear you, but they are also right to hope." She turns to leave, then pauses. "Trust sparingly, Luna Queen. Betrayal comes in many forms, and those closest to you may harbour the darkest secrets." With those cryptic words, she vanishes into the trees, moving with impossible speed for someone so ancient. Kyle and I stand in stunned silence. "Well," he says finally, "that's not concerning at all." Despite everything, I almost laugh. "Do you believe her?" "Seers don't make social calls for fun." He runs a hand through his dark hair, a gesture I've learned means he's deeply troubled. "If she's right, we have less time than I thought. Your training needs to intensify." "Kale." No arguments. His golden eyes are serious. "If you're going to survive what's coming, if you're going to have any chance of controlling this power, you need to be ready. That means harder training, longer hours." He hesitates. "And there's something else you need to learn, a ritual that will let you access your ancestral memories." "My what?" "The White Wolves pass down their knowledge through bloodline memory. Everything your ancestors knew, their abilities, their history, their secrets, it's all locked inside you. The ritual will unlock it." He meets my gaze. "But I won't lie to you. It's dangerous, painful. Some wolves who attempt it never come back." My wolf rises in my mind. We need to know the truth, whatever the cost. "When do we start?" I ask. A ghost of a smile touches his lips. "Tonight." The ritual requires 3 days of preparation. Kyle brings in Maya and 2 other wolves, skilled in ancient magic. A quiet man named Theron and a fierce woman named Raven. They create a circle of runes in a hidden cave deep in the territory, lighting candles and mixing herbs that fill the air with pungent smoke. During those 3 days, I train until I collapse. Kyle pushes me harder than ever, teaching me not just to fight, but to channel my lunar power into devastating attacks. I learn to heal faster, to sense other wolves' emotions, to project my will so strongly that even alphas feel compelled to obey. But I also notice something troubling. Twice, I catch Kyle slipping away late at night. Once, I follow him and see him meeting with 3 wolves I don't recognize. Their scents foreign, their voices too low to hear. When I confront him about it the next morning, he deflects smoothly. "Territory business," he says. "Nothing you need to worry about." But my wolf doesn't believe him. "Secrets," she growls. Just like Moira warned, still I push my doubts aside. I need his help. And despite everything, despite my wolf's warnings, I trust him more than I should. On the 3rd night, they lead me to the cave. "Drink this." Maya hands me a chalice filled with thick, dark liquid. "It will open the pathways to your ancestral memory." I don't ask what's in it. I drain the cup. The effect is immediate. The world tilts, colours bleeding together. Kyle catches me as my knees buckle, lowering me gently to the centre of the rune circle. "We'll anchor you," he says, his voice seeming to come from very far away. "No matter what you see, remember, you can come back. You're not alone." Then the cave disappears, and I'm falling through time. The memory slams into me with physical force. I'm standing in a great hall, built of white stone, moonlight streaming through crystal windows. I'm wearing a gown of silver silk, and my hair, long and white as snow, is crowned with a circlet of moonstones. My hands, not my hands, but older, more graceful, rest on a throne carved from a single massive opal. I am Lunar Queen Ariana, my grandmother, my namesake. "They're coming," a voice warns. A man, my mate, King Aldrich, stands at the window, his face grim. The coalition, 20 alpha packs, marching under cover of night. "How long?" My voice, her voice, is steady despite the fear. "An hour, maybe less." Aldrich turns, and I see the love and desperation in his eyes. "We have to run, Ariana. Take our daughter and son and flee. I'll hold them off." We both know how that ends. I stand, and power ripples through the hall, white light that makes the very stones sing. "The white wolves do not run, my love. We stand. Then we die." His voice breaks, and our bloodline dies with us. "No." I move to him, cupping his face in my hands. "Ilara will survive. I've already sent word to the witch. She'll hide our granddaughter, suppress her wolf until the time is right. Our bloodline will return, Aldrich. When the blood moon rises again, the scene shifts, violent and jarring. Now I'm in the courtyard, surrounded by enemies. 20 alphas in their wolf forms, their eyes glowing with bloodlust and greed. Leading them is a massive black wolf with ice blue eyes, a wolf I recognize even in this form. Alpha Damien Blackwood's great-great-grandfather. "Surrender, Lunar Queen," he growls, his voice carrying the weight of command. "Kneel before the new order, and we may let you live as our prisoner." I laugh. The sound is cold and terrible. "You think I fear death, Blackwood? I pity you. You murder your rightful queen for power you'll never know how to wield." "We're taking back what you stole," another alpha shouts. "The white wolves have controlled us for too long." Controlled? Power builds in my chest, white light so bright it hurts to look at. "We protected you, guided you, kept the darkness at bay." My voice drops to something deadly. "Now you'll learn what true darkness looks like." I unleash everything. The lunar power explodes outward in a wave that levels half the courtyard. Alphas scream as the light burns through them, but there are too many teeth and claws, too much hatred. I fight until I can't stand, until Aldrich falls beside me, his blood mixing with mine on the white stones, until the black wolf, Blackwood, sinks his teeth into my throat. My last thought, as the world fades, our granddaughter will rise, she will make them pay. I wake up screaming. Strong hands hold me down. Kael's hands. Arya, you're back, you're safe. But I'm not safe. I'll never be safe, because now I know the truth. They killed them, I sob, the words tearing from my throat. Damien's family. They led the betrayal. They murdered my grandparents, destroyed the white wolves, and stole our kingdom. Kael's face is grim. I know. That's why I need you to help me take it back. I stare at him through my tears. You knew? All this time you knew what Damien's bloodline did? The stories are passed down among rogues, the truth the packs tried to bury. He helps me sit up, and I realize Maya and the others have left us alone. That's why I'm offering you a chance for revenge, Arya. Not just for yourself, but for every wolf the alphas have wronged. Before I can respond, a commotion erupts outside the cave, shouting, the clash of metal on metal. Kael is on his feet instantly, already shifting. Stay here! But I follow him out into chaos. The settlement is under attack, not from an army, but from a single wolf. A massive black wolf with ice blue eyes that glow like frozen fire. Even in wolf form, I recognize him. Damien. He's fighting his way through the settlement, taking down any rogue who gets in his path. But he's not killing them, just incapacitating them, breaking bones with precise strikes. His eyes scan the crowd frantically until they land on me. Then he shifts, standing naked and bloodied in the center of the clearing. Arya. His voice is hoarse, desperate. Please, I need to talk to you. Kael growls, moving to intercept. You have about 3 seconds to leave before I tear your throat out, Blackwood. I'm not leaving without her. Damien's ice blue eyes never leave my face. I know I don't deserve forgiveness. I know I tried to kill you, rejected you, destroyed you. His voice cracks. But the mate bond, Arya, it's destroying me. My wolf is going insane. I haven't slept in days. I can't eat, can't think, can't breathe without feeling like I'm being ripped apart. Good, I say coldly. Now you know what it felt like when you called me worthless. I was wrong. He takes a step closer, ignoring Kael's warning growl. You were never worthless. You were our everything. A queen, my mate, the other half of my soul. He drops to his knees, and I've never seen an alpha look so broken. Please, just give me a chance to make this right. For a moment, just a moment, something in me softens. The mate bond, even severed and damaged, still pulls at my heart. Then I remember the blade descending toward my neck. You had your chance, I say. You chose Celine. You chose your pride. You chose. I choose you? The words are wrenched from him like a confession. Only you, always you. Kyle shifts into his human form, his body coiled with barely contained violence. She doesn't want you, Blackwood. She's moved on. Damien's eyes flick to Kyle, and something dark crosses his face. Moved on to you? The rogue king who's probably using her for his own agenda? At least I didn't try to execute her. Kyle's voice is deadly quiet. At least I'm her true mate. Stop. Power explodes from my body, white light that expands outward in a concussive wave. Both alphas are thrown backward, hitting the ground hard. When they try to rise, I push harder, and they fall to their knees, unable to move. The entire settlement goes silent, every wolf feeling the weight of my lunar power pressing down on them. I am not a prize to be won, I say, my voice carrying to every corner of the clearing. I'm not a weapon to be wielded or a mate to be claimed. I am a queen. And I will take back what was stolen from my bloodline. I look at Damien, then Kyle. Both of you wanted to use me, one for power, one for revenge, but I reject you both. I release the power, and they gasp as the pressure lifts. Damien struggles to his feet, but before he can speak, a new scent hits the air. Cold and rotten, like death itself. Everyone in the clearing tenses. Then she steps out of the shadows, flanked by 20 armed warriors. Selene Frost, looking beautiful and terrible in black armor. How touching, she purrs. The rejected mate, the rogue king and the demon wolf. It's almost poetic. Selene? Damien's voice is shocked. How did you... Find you? She smiles, and it's a terrible thing. Oh, Damien, you really are a fool. Did you think I'd just let you run off to claim your precious white wolf? She gestures, and more warriors emerge from the trees. I made new friends. Better friends. The warriors shift, and my blood runs cold. They're not normal wolves. Their fur is black as midnight, their eyes glowing red. Corruption rolls off them in waves, dark magic that makes my wolf recoil in horror. Shadow wolves, Kyle breathes. Selene, you insane bitch. Do you have any idea what you've done? I've secured my future. Selene's smile widens. The Shadow Pack wants the White Wolf for their experiments. They've promised me alpha female status of the Blood Moon Pack in return. Damien can watch while they drain her power and break her mind. Over my dead body, Damien snarls, shifting back into his wolf form. That can be arranged. The Shadow Wolves advance, their movements predatory and wrong. Kyle's rogues form ranks around me, ready to defend. Kyle himself shifts, standing shoulder to shoulder with Damien despite their earlier fight. But before the battle can begin, another voice cuts through the tension, cold and authoritative. Stop. 3 figures emerge from the opposite side of the clearing. They're dressed in formal pack attire, their bearing screaming authority. Alpha Council members. And Kyle's expression, I realise with dawning horror, isn't surprised. Cale Steele, the lead councilman says. You've held up your end of the bargain. Deliver the White Wolf to us and you'll receive your full pardon and reinstatement. No. No, no, no. I turn to Cale, searching his face for denial, for explanation. Instead, I see guilt and resignation. Area, he starts, reaching for me. I can explain. You were working with them? My voice is barely a whisper. This whole time? It's not what you think. What part? I stumble backward, my world crumbling. The part where you pretended to help me? The part where you made me trust you? Or the part where you planned to hand me over like property? The council wants to use your power to unite the packs, Kyle says desperately. Not hurt you. They promised you'd be treated like royalty. They want to cage me. White light flickers around my hands, unstable and dangerous. You betrayed me. Both of you betrayed me. Arya, please. Damien tries to move closer. Stay back. My power explodes outward again, but this time it's wild, uncontrolled. Wolves are thrown in every direction. The ground cracks beneath my feet. The shadow wolves use the chaos to strike. 3 of them hit me at once, their dark magic burning against my skin. Pain explodes through my body, nothing like silver, but worse, corrupting, trying to smother my light with their darkness. I fight, but there are too many. Too much dark magic pressing down on me, suffocating my power. No! Both Kale and Damien roar, trying to reach me. But the shadow wolves are already dragging me away, their red eyes gleaming with victory. The last thing I see before darkness takes me is Kale and Damien fighting side by side against impossible odds, and Celine's triumphant smile as she watches me disappear into the forest. Then something slams into my head, and the world goes black. I wake in a cell carved from black stone, lit by torches that burn with sickly green fire. My wrists are bound with chains that pulse with dark magic, suppressing my wolf, my power, everything that makes me strong. A figure looms in the doorway, tall, skeletal, with eyes that burn red in the darkness. "Welcome, Lunar Queen," he says, his voice like gravel and death. "We have so much to discuss about your future, or rather, the lack thereof." He steps into the light, and I see his face, scarred, ancient, twisted with dark magic. This is the Shadow Alpha, and I'm in his fortress, with no allies, no power, and no hope of escape. The prophecy echoes in my mind, Queen of Salvation, or Harbinger of Fear. Right now, I feel like neither, just a girl who trusted the wrong people and is about to pay the ultimate price. The Shadow Alpha smiles, revealing teeth filed to points. "Let's begin your education, shall we?" Chapter 4. The first thing I notice when consciousness returns is the cold. It seeps through the black stone floor, through my bones, into my very soul. The second thing I notice is the silence, absolute and suffocating, broken only by the distant drip of water somewhere in the darkness. I try to move and immediately regret it. Pain lances through my wrists where the chains bite into my skin. But it's not the physical pain that terrifies me. It's the emptiness inside where my wolf should be. The dark magic pulsing through these chains has smothered her completely. I'm alone in my own head for the first time since my transformation. "Ah, you're awake." That gravelly voice echoes through the cell. Good. I was beginning to worry I'd used too much sedative. Cassius Nightshade materializes from the shadows, like he's part of them. In the sickly green torchlight, I can see him more clearly now, ancient beyond measure, his face a road map of scars. His eyes burning with unnatural red light. Dark magic clings to him like a second skin. "What do you want from me?" My voice comes out stronger than I feel. "Want?" He laughs, the sound like bones grinding together. "My dear child, I want what every alpha has wanted since your bloodline fell. Immortality. Power absolute." He crouches down, studying me like I'm a particularly interesting insect. "Lunar Queen blood is the key. Your ancestors could heal anything, even death itself. Imagine what happens when that power is taken, concentrated, consumed." Horror floods through me. "You want to drain my power. Eventually," he stands, brushing invisible dust from his robes. "But first, I need to break you. Your will is tied to your magic, you see. A lunar queen who resists is useless. But one who's been properly trained?" His smile reveals those filed teeth. "She'll give me everything willingly. I'll die first. Oh, you'll wish for death long before I'm finished." He turns toward the door. "But don't worry. You won't be lonely. I've collected quite a menagerie of failed wolves over the years. You'll have plenty of company in your suffering." The door slams shut, and I'm alone again in the darkness. Time loses meaning in the cell. Hours or days might pass. I can't tell. They bring me water but no food, keeping me weak. Twice Cassius returns to try different methods of breaking me. Pain, fear, illusions that make me see my worst nightmares. Each time I hold on by my fingernails, refusing to give him what he wants. But I'm fading. I can feel it. On what might be the third day, I hear voices in the corridor outside my cell. Not guards. These voices are weak, frightened. Move, a guard snarls. Cell block 7 and shut up, or I'll give you something to really cry about. Through the small barred window in my door, I catch glimpses of movement. They're bringing in new prisoners, a group of them, maybe a dozen, all in chains like mine. But as they pass, I notice something strange. They're not just prisoners. They're broken. Defeated in a way that goes beyond physical captivity. One of them, a young woman maybe my age, meets my eyes through the bars. Her gaze is hollow, empty of hope. I recognize that look. I wore it myself for 22 years. The guards shove them into cells along my corridor, and once the heavy boots retreat, silence falls again. But this time it's a shared silence. I can hear them breathing, shifting, existing in their own private hells, just feet away from me. "Hey," I whisper through the bars. "Can you hear me?" A long pause, then, "Yes." The young woman's voice, barely audible. "What's your name?" Another pause, longer this time, like she's forgotten how to have a conversation. "Lena. I am..." Her voice breaks. "I don't know what I am anymore." "Why did they bring you here?" "Because I'm defective." The word is filled with such self-loathing it makes my heart ache. Wolfless. My pack couldn't execute me, my father's the beta, so they sold me to the shadow wolves instead. The words hit me like a physical blow. "You were sold?" "We all were." A male voice now, older and tired. "The packs don't just execute wolfless wolves anymore. Too messy, too many questions. So they sell us to Cassius. He uses us for dark magic experiments. Or drains us slowly for whatever sick purpose he has." "How many of you are there?" I ask. "In this block? 14? Lena, again. "In the whole fortress? Maybe 50, 60? Most don't last long." I sink back against the cold wall, my mind reeling. 50 or 60 wolves, all deemed worthless by their packs. All sold like property to be tortured and killed. The pack system didn't just fail me. It's been failing wolves like this for years. "What's your name?" Lena asks quietly. "Why are you here?" I almost laugh. "My name is Aria Thorne, and I'm here because I'm exactly what you all were accused of being, except it turned out I'm something they fear even more." "What's that?" "A lunar queen." The silence that follows is deafening. Then whispers erupt, disbelieving, awed, terrified. "That's impossible," the male voice says. "The lunar queens are extinct." That's what everyone thought. I close my eyes, feeling for my wolf beneath the smothering dark magic. She's still there, buried deep, fighting to surface. They killed my bloodline 200 years ago because they were afraid of our power, afraid of wolves who ruled with compassion instead of cruelty. Compassion? Lena's laugh is bitter. There's no such thing, not in our world. There could be. The words surprise me, but as I say them, I know they're true. The lunar queens didn't rule through fear or dominance. They protected the weak, healed the sick, made sure every wolf had value, regardless of their strength. "That's just a story," someone else mutters. "Is it?" I open my eyes, staring at the chains around my wrists. Or is it the truth that the alphas tried to bury so they could rule unchallenged? More whispers now, less frightened and more thoughtful. "Even if it's true," Lena says, "what does it matter? We're all going to die here anyway." "Not if I can help it. You're in chains, same as us. For now." I study the dark magic pulsing through the metal. It's designed to suppress my wolf, to smother my lunar power. But what Cassius doesn't understand is that lunar power isn't just about healing and creation. It's about balance, life and death, building and breaking. If I can heal, then I can also destroy. I close my eyes and reach deep, past my wolf, past the smothering darkness into the well of power that exists at my very core, the place where the moon goddess's gift lives, ancient and absolute. The chains resist, their dark magic pushing back against my light. Pain sears through me, worse than silver, worse than anything Cassius has done. I grit my teeth and push harder. Break! I will the chains. Shatter! White light explodes from my wrists and the chains disintegrate. The sudden freedom sends me sprawling forward. My wolf surges back into my consciousness with a fierce, triumphant howl. "We are not prey," she snarls. "We are the hunter." I stand on shaking legs, feeling power flood back into my body. The cell door is still locked, but it's just metal and old wood. I place my palm against it and push, not with physical force, but with pure lunar power. The door explodes outward, wood and metal flying across the corridor. Alarms begin to wail immediately, but I don't care. I move to the next cell, then the next, breaking locks and chains with focused bursts of white light. Lena stumbles out of her cell, staring at her freed wrists in disbelief. "How?" "Later." I move to the next cell, freeing the older male wolf. "His name is Marcus," he tells me breathlessly. "Right now, we need to free everyone and get out of here." "We can't fight," Lena protests. "Half of us are wolfless and the rest are too weak. You don't need to fight." I meet her eyes, and she flinches at the power burning in mine. "You just need to run. Can you do that?" She nods slowly, then run. We free all 14 prisoners in our block, then move to the next. The fortress is a maze of stone corridors and cells, but my wolf can sense the other prisoners. Their fear is like a beacon. We follow it, breaking locks and chains, gathering an army of the broken and forgotten. The shadow wolves come for us in force when we hit the third cell block. 20 warriors in their corrupted forms, their red eyes gleaming with bloodlust. They expect us to cower, to run in terror. Instead, I step forward, white light blazing around me like a corona. "You picked the wrong wolves to cage," I say quietly. Then I unleash everything. The lunar power explodes outward in a wave of purifying light. It doesn't destroy the shadow wolves, not exactly. Instead, it burns away the corruption, the dark magic that's twisted them into monsters. They scream as their true forms are revealed. Ordinary wolves, terrified and confused, their red eyes fading to normal colours. "Go," I tell them, "run, and never come back to this place." They don't need to be told twice. They scatter like leaves in a storm. Behind me, the freed prisoners stare in awe. "You really are a lunar queen," Marcus breathes. "Yes." I turn to face them. 57 wolves, all told. All worthless in the eyes of their packs, all waiting to die. And I'm getting you out of here. The battle for the fortress is chaos. We fight our way through corridors filled with shadow wolves, and I learn something important. My power isn't just for healing. I can purify corruption, break dark magic, and when necessary, I can fight with the ferocity of a lunar queen protecting her pack. But we're outnumbered. For every shadow wolf we take down, 2 more appear. We're being driven back toward the central courtyard, and I know if we get trapped there, we're finished. That's when I hear it, a howl from beyond the fortress walls. Not just one, but hundreds. 2 distinct calls, intertwining in a harmony that shouldn't be possible. Damien and Kale, together. The fortress walls explode inward, and an army pours through. Damien's Blood Moon warriors on one side, Kale's rogues on the other. They should be enemies, should be tearing each other apart. Instead, they fight side by side with deadly coordination. And leading them both, running shoulder to shoulder, a massive black wolf with ice blue eyes and a scarred brown wolf with eyes like molten gold. My erstwhile betrayers have come to rescue me. Part of me wants to be angry, but a larger part is simply relieved. The tide turns immediately. The shadow wolves, caught between our internal revolt and the external assault, begin to fall. Cassius's fortress, which must have stood for decades, falls in less than an hour. I'm fighting my way toward the throne room. I can sense Cassius there, his dark magic a rotting wound in the fabric of reality, when she appears. Selene Frost, beautiful and deadly in black armor, her sword already swinging toward my throat. I dodge, but barely. She's fast. Faster than any normal wolf should be. Did you really think you'd escape? She circles me like a predator, her blonde hair matted with blood. I've been planning this for years, Arya. Years of pretending to be the perfect alpha female, also I could be in position when you finally surfaced. Cassius is your father. It's not a question. Half-father, technically. Shadow Wolf and Blood Moon Pack, quite the scandalous affair. Her smile is poisonous. He planted me in Damien's pack when I was 16, played the long game. And it was worth it, watching you suffer, watching Damien reject you, almost as satisfying as this moment. She strikes again, and this time her blade cuts deep across my ribs. I gasp, stumbling back. You're not invincible, Selene purrs. Just another wolf who'll bleed and die like all the rest. She raises her sword for the killing blow, and Damien crashes into her from the side, his black wolf form tackling her away from me. They roll across the stone floor in a tangle of fur and fury. Damien shifts mid-fight, grabbing Selene's blade arm and twisting until she drops the sword with a scream. You don't touch her, he snarls. Never again. Selena laughs even as he pins her. How noble! The alpha finally finds his spine. Her free hand shoots out, and I see the flash of silver, a hidden dagger aimed at Damien's heart. Everything happens in slow motion. Damien sees it but can't dodge, not without releasing her. I'm too far away to reach them. And then Kale is there, his human form interposing itself between the blade and Damien's chest. The dagger sinks into Kale's side instead. He grunts, blood blooming across his shirt, but he doesn't fall. Instead he rips the dagger from Selene's hand and tosses it away, then drives his fist into her face with enough force to knock her unconscious. That's for betraying Arya, he rasps, before collapsing. I'm at his side immediately, my hands glowing white as I press them to the wound. The dagger was silver and poison, dark magic that burns my palms, even as I work to heal him. You idiot, I mutter, even as tears blur my vision. You beautiful, stupid, traitorous idiot. Had to. Kyle coughs, blood on his lips. Had to make it right. Don't you dare die. My power pours into him, fighting the poison, knitting torn flesh. I'm still furious at you. You don't get to escape that by dying. He manages a weak smile. Wouldn't dream of it. Lunar Queen. The wound closes, the poison purged. He'll live. I stand, leaving Kyle in Maya's capable hands. She's appeared from somewhere in the chaos and turned to face Damien. He's still in human form, naked and bloodied, his ice blue eyes fixed on me with an intensity that makes my wolf stir, despite everything. Arya, don't. I hold up a hand. Not yet. First, we finish this. I stride toward the throne room, power blazing around me like a second sun. Damien falls into step beside me, and I don't stop him. Whatever else he is, whatever he's done, right now, we have a common enemy. Cassius waits for us on his throne of black stone, his red eyes amused rather than afraid. The Lunar Queen and the Alpha who tried to kill her, he says. How delightfully ironic. Tell me, Blackwood, does it hurt? Knowing your ancestor murdered her grandmother? Every day, Damien says quietly, and I believe him. Enough talking. I step forward, and white light fills the room. You tortured innocent wolves, practiced dark magic, tried to drain my power for your own immortality. The light intensifies, purifying, burning away shadows. I am Lunar Queen Arya Thorne, last of my bloodline, and I sentence you to judgment. Cassius laughs. You think you can kill me, child? I've lived for 3 centuries. I've consumed the essence of 100 wolves. I am beyond death. I don't need to kill you. I raise my hands. And white fire, pure lunar magic, erupts from my palms. I just need to take away everything that makes you a monster. The fire engulfs him, and he screams. But it's not the scream of death. It's the scream of transformation. The dark magic burns away, century after century of corruption purified in moments. When the flames fade, an ordinary old man collapses on the throne, mortal and powerless. What did you do? His voice is weak, human. I gave you what you feared most. I turn away. Mortality, humanity. You'll die like everyone else now. Old and forgotten. Behind me, Selena stirs, regaining consciousness. She sees her father reduced to nothing and shrieks with rage, lunging for a fallen sword. But Damien is faster. He interposes himself between us again, and Celine's blade, meant for my heart, sinks into his chest instead. No. The word tears from my throat as Damien falls. I catch him, lowering him to the ground. The wound is deep, mortal. I can see his life bleeding out onto the black stone. Why? I demand, my hands already glowing as I try to heal him. But the wound is too severe. The blade touched his heart. Even my power might not be enough. Because, he coughs, blood on his lips, because you were right, I was wrong, about everything. His hand finds mine, gripping weakly. I'm sorry, Arya, I'm so sorry. Shut up. Tears stream down my face as I pour everything I have into healing him. Don't you dare die. Don't you dare. The mate bond, he gasps. Complete it. It's the only way. It'll give you the connection you need to fully heal me. I freeze. The mate bond. The thing he rejected, the thing that nearly destroyed us both. If I complete it, I'll be bound to him forever. Every decision, every future path, tied to the alpha who tried to execute me. Do it? Kyle's voice stronger now. He's standing at the entrance to the throne room, Maya supporting him. Save him, Arya. Whatever he's done, he doesn't deserve to die. I look down at Damien, dying in my arms. Then at Kyle, who saved him despite their rivalry. Then at the 57 freed prisoners watching from the doorway, waiting to see what their Lunar Queen will choose. Mercy or vengeance. Forgiveness or justice. There's a third option, my wolf whispers. And suddenly I see it. A path the ancient Lunar Queens knew, but that's been forgotten. I place my hand over Damien's heart and reach deep into the mate bond. That damaged, rejected thing that still connects us. Instead of completing it, instead of binding us together forever, I use my lunar magic to heal the wound and sever the bond completely. White light pours from my hand into his chest. The blade wound closes, his heart beats stronger, his breathing evens out, but the mate bond, that golden thread that tied us, dissolves like morning mist. When I pull my hand back, Damien gasps, his eyes flying open. He sits up, touching his chest in disbelief. You healed me, but the bond is gone. I stand helping him to his feet. I saved your life, Damien Blackwood, but I set us both free. You don't owe me anything, and I don't owe you forgiveness. I meet his eyes. We're even now. What you do with this second chance is up to you. He stares at me for a long moment, and I see understanding dawn in those ice-blue eyes. Not hurt, but something like relief and respect. Thank you, he says quietly, for being wiser than I ever was. I turn to address everyone, the freed prisoners, Damien's warriors, Kale's rogues, all of them watching me with varying expressions of awe and uncertainty. I was executed by my pack for being different, I say, my voice carrying through the throne room and beyond. I was hunted, betrayed, imprisoned. The pack system failed me, but more than that, it's been failing wolves like us for 200 years. I gesture to the freed prisoners. These wolves were sold by their own packs, deemed worthless because they didn't fit the hierarchy, because they weren't strong enough, dominant enough, perfect enough. My voice hardens. The Lunar Queens didn't rule that way. We valued every wolf. We protected the weak and healed the broken. We led with justice, not chains. I take a breath. letting power radiate from me, not threatening, but undeniable. I'm not returning to any pack, not Blood Moon, not any other. Instead, I'm establishing the first free territory, a place where all wolves are equal, regardless of rank or status, where strength is measured by character, not dominance, where no one is ever sold, executed, or cast out for being different. Silence. Then one of the freed prisoners, Lena, drops to one knee. "Luna Queen," she says, her voice ringing clear. One by one, the others follow. Not just the prisoners, but Kale's rogues, even some of Damien's warriors, after glancing at their alpha for permission. Kale himself kneels, his golden eyes meeting mine. "My army is yours, Arya. To build the world you're describing, that's worth fighting for." Damien doesn't kneel, but he does bow his head in acknowledgement. I'll return to my pack and begin dismantling the corrupt hierarchy, starting with the council seat my family holds. He meets my eyes. "The alpha system is broken. You've shown me that. I'll do what I can to change it from within." I nod, accepting his pledge. As the sun sets outside the shattered fortress, I stand before hundreds of wolves who've heard of the White Luna Queen. Some came out of curiosity, some out of desperation, some out of hope. I address them all. The age of alphas ruling through fear is over. The Luna Queens have returned, and we will remake this world with justice, not chains. Every wolf who wants a place in this new world is welcome. Every wolf who believes in equality, in compassion, in protecting the vulnerable. You have a home here. The response is deafening. Howls of acceptance, of relief, of hope. But as the celebration begins, I notice a figure at the edge of the crowd. A wolf I don't recognize, standing apart from the others. She's young, maybe 25, with silver hair and eyes that glow with an eerie violet light. She approaches slowly, and the crowd parts for her without knowing why. When she reaches me, she bows, not in submission, but in recognition. "Luna, Queen Arya," she says, her voice melodic and strange. "I am Seraphina, keeper of the Luna Temple. I've waited 200 years for your bloodline to rise." My wolf tenses. The Luna Temple was destroyed. The physical temple, yes, but the knowledge survives. She straightens, and I see the mark on her inner wrist, a crescent moon wrapped in silver flames, the mark of the Luna Queen's personal guards. "I bring news, Your Majesty. You are not the only one who survived." My blood runs cold. "What?" "There are other bloodlines," Seraphina says, her violet eyes serious. 3 other Luna Queen families that escaped the purge. They've been in hiding, like you, waiting for the right moment. She pauses. "But not all of them share your vision of justice and peace. Some remember only the betrayal. Some want vengeance." "You're saying there are other Luna Queens out there?" I process this, my mind reeling. "And they might be enemies." "The true war is just beginning, Your Majesty." Seraphina bows again. "The Queen has risen. Now others will rise to challenge your throne. Some as allies, others as rivals who believe they have a better claim to rule the wolf world." She produces a scroll sealed with that same crescent moon mark and hands it to me. "This is the location of the Luna Temple's hidden sanctuary. When you're ready to learn the full truth about your bloodline and the other surviving queens, come find us." She steps back, but be warned. The knowledge you gain may change everything you think you know about the Luna Queens. We were not always the benevolent rulers the stories claim. With those cryptic words, she vanishes into the crowd, leaving me holding the scroll and staring after her. Kyle appears at my side, his expression troubled. "Other Luna Queens? Is that even possible?" "Apparently." I look at the scroll, feeling its weight, not just physical, but metaphorical. Just when I thought I understood my path, everything gets complicated again. "What will you do?" Damien asks, joining us. I look out at the wolves gathered before me. My wolves now, whether I wanted that responsibility or not. Hundreds of eyes watching me with hope and trust. "What I've always done," I say quietly. Keep fighting, keep building, keep trying to make this world better. I meet their eyes, both Kale and Damien, rivals and allies, betrayers and redeemers. But this time, I'm not fighting alone. As the blood moon rises overhead, right on schedule, just as Moira predicted, I feel my power surge to unprecedented heights. The prophecy echoes in my mind, Queen of Salvation, or Harbinger of Fear. I've made my choice. I'll be the queen who heals, who builds, who protects. But if other lunar queens come for my throne, if they threaten the sanctuary I'm building for broken wolves, if they choose fear over compassion, then I'll be the queen who fights, and I'll win. The blood moon bathes the fortress in crimson light, and somewhere in the distance I hear wolves howling, not in challenge, but in recognition. The lunar queens have returned, and the world of wolves will never be the same. The end. Thank you for watching this video. Like, share and subscribe for more.